Hi, my name is Corey Minter, and I'm the president of Trinity Employment Specialists. And Trinity, we are a staffing firm, and we specialize in the medical field. We have a complete division for the medical field. We have another division in travel nursing. So we staff for nurses all over the nation. And in travel nursing contracts, they're generally 3-month or 13-week contracts. Nurses get paid double what they normally do. It's really a cool little model. So if you're a nurse and you've heard about travel nursing, I would love for you to give us a call. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about 5 new characteristics to learn about A players. Just interrupted myself there. Our next division is we provide staffing for light industrial. So these are 3 key divisions that we specialize in Trinity. And at Trinity, we try to do a different type of job for the clientele that we work with and the employees. We want our clientele noticing quality. We put quality over quantity every time. And the same thing with employees, with the way that their process is about getting onboarded, how we treat them each week as they work for us. And I would love for you to go to Google reviews and just check us out and see what other people are saying about us, because there's a ton of people saying some really great things. Like I said, the title of this are 5 different characteristics of A players. I just did one set of characteristics on how to determine if someone is an A player on your team and what you can do to interact with them and then make sure and support them and bring them up, lift them up. These are 5 characteristics to whenever you're interviewing and looking to bring somebody on your team. You definitely want to bring A players on your team. And the reason is because A players, they do 1.5 times the work oftentimes. And if you're a manager, if you don't believe me, you understand this. Because if you've got an A player, you understand that's exactly what they do. There's someone on your team that you know that if you go to them, it's going to get done. There's not excuses. There's not all these crazy things. Oftentimes when you ask them, hey, have you already done that? They're like, yeah, I've already got that taken care of. Your A players work 1.5 times harder than your other, or they produce 1.5 times more. They also recruit other A players over onto your team. A players make such a big difference. And right now, with this COVID craziness pandemic that we've just gone through, do you realize that the Department of Labor and the Office of Unemployment has reported that 30 million people are now unemployed in America? Can you believe that? But this is a great thing if you're a business and you're beginning to bounce back. Never in the history of our country has there been such a wide plethora of grade A talent out there looking. Never. And your A players, they don't want to sit on unemployment. I know we've got a great unemployment thing going on here. And in fact, we have a lot of employees, they won't go back to work because the unemployment rate is so, or the unemployment package that they have is so great. They're like, man, we're riding this out. And it stinks for us. But your A players aren't going to do that. Like, they want to go to work. They can't stand this stuff. And so you've got a better time now at being able to acquire an A player than ever before in history. This pandemic has created a bigger problem than the Great Depression. I think there were 8 million people unemployed during the Great Depression. World War II, this is a much greater impact on our economy than World War II. Many more people have been unemployed now than during World War II. So this is a really great opportunistic time for our entrepreneurs and the businesses out there. And Trinity wants to be a great avenue for you to acquire an A player. That's what we do. So let's look at these traits and see if this doesn't help you to figure out, a new way of thinking about recruiting and what you're looking at. So, number one, A players have a desire to compete. Listen, whenever you check their references and whenever you talk to people who have worked with them before, you need to ask, tell me, how did they compete with other people? But there's a thing that you've got to watch with competing. You need to make sure and check with the references. When they did they compete to crush, or did they compete so the whole team won? Really, really, really important there. Listen, A players want to compete, but the type of A players you want on your team are the type that they want to compete, but they're going to bring the team with them and not stand on their all by their lonesome and be the king of the hill and laugh at the people down there. Okay, there's a big difference there. They have a desire to compete. Check their references, you'll find out. Number two, I'm going to turn my page here, but have you ever got a page and it just got stuck? Okay. Number two, they have a champion's mindset. They always have the ability to believe that they can win with your team. Ask them. After you've explained your company to them, ask them, do you believe that you can win with the way that we're set up? And let them talk about it. Feel them out. Watch their countenance on their face and see if they truly believe they can win with your team. And if they can they can win with your system. They have a champion's mindset. You can't contain it. You'll be able to see it in their face. I promise you. Look for that champion's mindset and then check references and ask them if they saw a champion's mindset whenever they worked with them. You'll be able to tell with those two things. Number three, they're self-disciplined. You do not have to ask an A player to do things over and over. A lot of times when you have an A player on your team, when you ask them, did they already complete, hey, did you get that thing done? Oh yeah, I've already got that. If they're not meeting the mark, you're not going to have to drive them to do this. They're going to meet the mark. So when you're checking your references after you've met with this person, if you sense that they have, they're self-disciplined, ask their references. They're going to be able to tell you these are some key metrics here that you're going to be able to check. They have integrity. I talked to you about it before. Your A players are not going to be driving down other people on your team to win at the top. They'll have a champion's mindset, but they're going to want to bring people with them, and they're going to do it with integrity. You can ask previous references about integrity and ask them to tell a story about how they used integrity in the way that they worked. Ask the candidate different ways that they performed, and ask them to tell you stories about how they performed. Five, they think ahead, they anticipate, and they act. So your A players, listen, they're going to be ahead of the game. If what they're doing isn't working, they're going to see it. They're going to figure out another way to get the goal met, and then they're going to go act. Now, oftentimes, like for me, my A players come to me and say, listen, this is not working. I've got a new idea. This is what I intend to do. Do you agree with this? And are you giving me permission to go do it? Because oftentimes it's a little bit bold. It's outside of our normal everyday plan, but they create these avenues to success. Whenever they hit a roadblock, they create a pathway to get up the mountain. I'm telling you, that's what these people do. And they do it without being asked. And so whenever you're checking references and whenever you're interviewing them, you might want to ask, tell me about a situation where you ran into a roadblock. How did you handle it? And you should see some creative thinking and some collaborative efforts happening there. When they tell you this story, verify it with their references, okay? It's really important that you do this because some people, believe it or not, they just don't tell you the truth. And in an interview, unfortunately, our job is honestly to be truth detectors and lie detectors and be very good at that and use our discernment to be able to do it. These are some key things that I think will really help you to determine who A players are. during your interviewing process. So if Trinity can help you in any way, shape, or form to identify and begin to hire A players, give us a call at 918-622-2588, or you can visit us online at trinityemployment.com.